Marvel Studios and Sony Pictures' Spider-Man Far From Home must wear many hats within the larger MCU. It is the first post-Avengers Endgame spot on the franchise release slate and is also the final chapter in Phase 3, meaning it needs to offer audiences an end to the Infinity Saga while paving the way for what's next. But Far From Home must also continue to tell a story of a young superhero after his first solo movie in 2017's Spider-Man Homecoming, though his journey was interrupted by the events of Avengers Infinity War and Endgame. In addition to all of that, Far From Home must stand on its own. Spider-Man Far From Home picks up right after the events of Avengers Endgame, but looks through the specific lens of Peter Parker's Spider-Man corner of the world. As such, the movie focuses in on Peter Parker wanting to take a break from superhero antics to enjoy his summer vacation in Europe with his best friend Ned, and tell the girl he likes, MJ, how he feels about her. All of Peter's plans are derailed, though, when he is approached by Nick Fury and Maria Hill to help Quentin Beck, aka Mysterio, fight the elementals and save the world. All the while, Peter wrestles with the idea of stepping up to fill the void left by Tony Stark, Iron Man's death, and he must decide once again what kind of a superhero he wants to be. The theme of Peter figuring out his superhero identity carries over from Spider-Man Homecoming, though Far From Home, which sees John Watts return as director, adds extra outside factors to the mix. With Iron Man's death and Mysterio, it does sometimes come across as Spider-Man Far From Home trending too much on the same path as Homecoming did. Overall, Spider-Man Far From Home is a blast, though it does take some time to really get going. The first chunk of the movie rests on the shoulders of Tom Holland and his co-stars who play his classmates to carry off on a not at all exciting start to their trip, not to mention a super quick explanation of the new status quo in the MCU after Avengers Endgame. Casual moviegoers may be a little confused. Then the second and third act of Far From Home push the limits of what's expected, not just in a Spider-Man movie, but superhero movies in general. Spider-Man Far From Home isn't as sharp or tightly written as Spider-Man Homecoming, but the sequel more than makes up for what the sheer spectacle and MCU connections, and smartly knows when Holland and Gyllenhaal can carry a scene of their own. It's exactly the kind of exciting moviegoers experience fans want from their MCU, but maybe don't always get. As such, Spider-Man Far From Home is a must-see for MCU fans, offering a different enough experience to the franchise's other 2019 movies, Captain Marvel and Avengers Endgame, to stand apart. It's also able to hold its own as a first MCU movie following the epic Endgame, largely thanks to focusing in on one of the franchise's newer and more compelling lead characters. Further, Far From Home actually does work into what's next in the post-Avengers world, introducing some interesting characters that fans will be excited to see and explored in further movies. One of Homecoming's biggest strengths was being able to balance a character's focused story that acknowledges the larger universe in which it's set, and Far From Home again nails that. Still, while Spider-Man Far From Home is a great superhero movie on its own, viewers may be more excited by what comes next, both for Peter Parker and the larger MCU. So what did you think of Spider-Man Far From Home? Let me know in the comment section, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more great content.